Hello, everyone. This is Jose Baeza, and we got
Antonio Hernandez.
And the topic of today is going to be about learning the basics of real estate. And Antonio, I have a lot of really good questions that I've jotted down. For example, how to look for resources and some other things that I'm going to be asking along the way.
Sure.
But why don't we learn the basics, because that's really important.
Yeah, as in any business, I think, you need to know your business. You need to know what you're getting into it. And that's why you need to start, reading. You need to see, videos. You need to check, any podcasts. I mean, everything that is related to real estate. I mean, even attending seminars now.
Right.
There is not many, but... networking,
Yes.
So anything that it gives you, an idea of what you're doing it's a great resource,
Right. Now, what about the resources? Because you're mentioning all of these things, right? And as 2020 starts to kind of diminish and 2021 is coming up, I want to learn more about those resources and how to adapt to them, because you mentioned networking events. Well, they're not physically there right now, but same thing happens with real estate. Many things are going to change in real estate. How do you stay on top of it? What are some of the top resources that you would recommend that they can prepare someone regardless of the situation? Whether do you have some books that you recommend? Anybody that you can have them follow or whatnot?
Well, there is, there's a lot of books on real estate, and I mean, you can find a lot of them, and Amazon and all these. The other thing is, subscribe to these, investors podcasts and videos. But some of the great, national investor groups like Connected Investors and RIAs, Bigger Pockets. So those are great, resources, because they're gonna have a lot of information, and like I say, and
that goes part with getting involved with the industry, right? Because we're talking about getting to know the basics.
Exactly, because all these groups and all these people, they're in the business every day,
right?
And like us, we're in the business looking for money for other investors. And we know what's going on, if something changed, if some lenders don't want to lend in certain areas, we know about it.
Right.
And what's the minimum down payment, we know that. So it's great, to talk to people who knows what's going on in the industry.
Yeah, for sure. Now, one of the things that we want to talk about is like the tools that people have. You mentioned RIAs. You mentioned like some websites that they can go through. What are some of the topics, what are some of the basic tools that people need to have in terms of a team? Like you need a realtor, right? You need a contractor. What else do they need?
Well, you need a good lender, a good hard money lender, a good business gap funding. You need a good attorney. And also, you need to have some wholesalers, because nowadays, there is not a lot of properties in the market, so they're not going to be in the MLS. So you can get through, these wholesalers.
Right. And tell me more about calculators, because I'm telling you right now, when I was going through high school, I love calculators, but I did not like math. So how much more complicated can it be to figure out whether a property is going to make money or not?
Like I say, a lot of these national, network groups, or, the Connected Investor, the Bigger Pockets, usually they have calculators. They have a rental calculator where you can input your numbers, and then it's going to spit, some numbers to make sure if the property makes sense or not.
Right.
But there also is, calculators for fix and flip. So there is a lot of information. You just need to look for it.
Well, yeah, because one of the things that I was told when I was just getting started in real estate, that it's all about the numbers.
Yes.
The numbers will tell you whether or not you're going to make money before you even purchase the property.
Yeah.
And so I can only imagine, calculators, how important they play a role here.
Yeah, I mean, and like I say, and like you mentioned right now, it's all about the numbers. There is no feelings in real estate investing.
Like, oh, I love the color on this.
So, as long as the numbers make sense, then everything else will fall in place. But like I say, it's a risky business. But
tell me a little bit more, and I'm sorry to interrupt about this, Antonio, but you mentioned like there's no room for feelings, right? So I know that there's some clients that they grew up in a certain neighborhood and they've always wanted to purchase a property at a neighborhood just because they had their childhood there. But how do you analyze a property to know whether or not it's going to make money and to know whether you're making the right decision without having your feelings involved? Because as humans, we're a species where we have feelings involved regardless. But how do you detach from that? What's a good way to analyze a property?
Well, it probably takes until like two to five properties, where you can say, okay, it's about the numbers,
right?
Because at the beginning you say, oh, I like this property, and the numbers don't make sense, but you say, oh, but I like it, Well,
right.
So I understood that, numbers make, if the numbers make sense, then we'll make it happen. But for those people, that they're trying to buy something and the numbers don't make sense. I mean, there is some rules, there's there is the 70% rule. If the after repair value, 70% of that, if the purchase price plus the rehab, doesn't give you the number or is below the number, then probably it's a good deal. But if it's above the number, it's not a good deal. But so let's say an example, you're buying the property for $100,000 and you're going to put $20,000 in rehab.
Right.
And the property value after repair is going to be $200. So if you do 70% of 200 is 140. So if you're purchasing the property $100,000 plus 20, that's 120. And when you refinance or when you're selling, if you have 70% is 140. So any lender, they will give you the loan because it's below the 140.
Right.
So that's how it works.
Awesome. Well, again, guys, this is Antonio Hernandez, and this is Jose Baeza. Very much excited to share all this great information with you guys. For more additional videos, go ahead and subscribe and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and visit our websites, which is located on the video information below. And we are very much looking to sharing way more information as well. Looking forward to it, you guys. Thank you.